and this is a story that is, again, befuddling and curious and interesting, and where there is a lot of conspiracy theories and alternative explanations and all kinds of stories and all kinds of stuff that is hard to make heads or tail of, and I don't know yet what, at the end of the day, is the truth, and that is this attack on a Christmas market in Germany that was instigated by a Saudi man who has lived in Germany for quite a while, but who has been affiliated with anti-Islamist programs within Germany, and indeed has been supposedly a supporter of the AfD, which is opposed to immigration. It's also claimed that he, and the posts on social media to this effect, that he's an atheist, anti-Saudi, anti-Islam atheist, who has been working to help people leave Saudi Arabia who are also atheists. His frustration, supposedly, is that because Germany is doing nothing about the Islamist threat, that Germany is going to become Islamist, which is what he escaped Saudi Arabia to avoid. So he came from Saudi Arabia to Germany in order to escape Islamism, and Islamism followed him to Germany. But this is where it doesn't make sense. So he killed a bunch of Germans, 5, and wounded about 100, in order to make what point? In order to make the point that Islamism's bad? That the Germans' behavior towards Islamism is bad? So there is, clearly a challenge here of trying to understand this guy's motivation. Right? Somebody even says that he shouted Allah Akbar. Was he doing that in order to pretend to be an Islamist? So Islamists will be blamed for the attack so that the AfD in the coming elections very soon will win a bigger share? That's also possible. So it's really, really hard to tell exactly what happened here. But the reality is that German officials were warned about him over and over and over again over the last few years, and even leading up to this to this act. He has been threatening violence online for quite a while. And so German leaders are under huge scrutiny and huge attack. And this is playing into the beginning of the election season, which is going to culminate in elections. When is it? I think in March, where Germany will pick a new government, where the AfD is likely to become the second largest political force in Germany, where it might be the case that the largest political party, which will probably be the Conservatives, cannot form a government without the AfD, and will bring, and since they have sworn that they will not form a government with the AfD, it'll bring kind of a political stalemate, similar to what we're seeing in France, to Germany. And this attack is just adding to the, I think, confusion the Germans feel, to the complexity of what is at stake in this election. But so it is going to be super interesting to see how this plays out, right? I don't think he acted as if he was a supporter of AfD. He's been acting in support of AfD for a long time, and he's been an anti-Muslim immigration to Germany for years and years and years, way before this election, way before the AfD became a force. So either he changed his mind, he suddenly became an Islamist. So, there are way too many conspiracy theories, way too many false news out there to really figure out what's going on. We'll have to wait and see what kind of information is ultimately revealed. But no question, this is a confusing one. And no question, it's going to have implications vis-a-vis the elections. And these elections are indeed super important elections, super important elections in which Germany will determine much of its future, but also a stalemate is going to create real havoc if you have both France and Germany in stalemate, where they cannot form governments, and where kind of the right and left are deadlocked. Not good for Europe. And what does seem to be unequivocal is on the rise is both left and right that's pro-Russia is on the rise. And it's on the rise in Germany and France, in parts of Eastern Europe. And that does not bode well for the future of NATO, for the future of Europe, but for the future, and it does not bode well for Ukraine, of course, but mostly it doesn't bode well for Europe itself. It's not healthy for Europe to be pro-Putin, pro-Russia. The AfD, the AfD is explicitly pro-Russia. So is the far left, this new political party that's also going to do quite well in this coming election. A kind of a environmentalist, pro-Marx, but anti-immigration and pro-Russia, which is a weird combination. But that's this new leftist political party whose name I can't pronounce because it's named after the woman who leads it, and her name is non-pronounceable. A German non-pronounceable name.